We're gonna go in
now.
Now we're live now. Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. Scott, like, you can't just like in the middle of a conversation say, "All right, Mike, just take it away."
I said
hey, everybody,
five, and
welcome
after 5
back.
seconds, I pressed the button.
We had another conversation after you said the word 5.
You said 5, stopped, and go, you know what? Do I even count anymore? And we started to talk, and you were just like, okay, go. It's worse. I'd rather you count, stop, and then we
start
just
over.
Guess.
Can we?
Okay, yeah, all right,
Yeah, can you bring it?
Take
Hang
one.
on, chat. Just take a second. Hang. We'll get
Dana, can we
initiative. Dana, can you edit
Dana,
this
can
out?
we edit this out, please? Yeah.
Take 2.
Thank you. Take
All
2.
Are you ready?
Okay,
No,
yeah.
we'll need
Okay,
you to end the call, restart it.
Oh, you want
no.
to end the stream?
yeah, start
Okay,
completely
all right, ready,
fresh.
All right, here we go. We're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Favoritian minute.
It's never gonna be live.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna come
happen.
back after our first break, is what you're saying.
Well, I guess I can go hang out with the dogs for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm even got the stream up and we're still not actually on the screen yet.
All right, you ready?
No.
5,
No.
4, 3, 2, 1, and take it away, Mike.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lost Initiative after a little bit of time away. Thank you so much for your patience. We missed all of you. We
You're welcome.
mostly missed your hype trains, obviously, so we appreciate your money. Thank you for getting us to a level 4 hype train.
Jesus Christ.
Appreciate it. Listen, dude.
Jack is back, everyone.
Yeah, I got drugs if you got the.
Wait, is Mike supposed to take it away when you're the DM?
Yeah, well, you know, because he takes it away and then I DM. You know, it's kind of like
Yeah.
we
Oh,
play
okay.
ball. Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
each took it away when the other one. I don't know.
So,
How you do work.
If you want me to start it off, I can start off the way I
For the
would.
love of God, no. The less you talk, the better for all of
No,
us.
it's all good. Great.
he's literally got to be the DM and you're asking for talking more
Hey
talking.
guys, how's your week going? Listen, I had absolutely horrible news this week. Absolutely terrible. Listen, my cat got out and she's been outside for days. She won't come back in the house. This is awful. I'm really sad right now. She won't come in the house. I've tried to like trick her to come in. I've tried to like put food out. I stopped feeding her and putting food inside the house and leave the door open. This is terrible. I'm so sad right now. I'm so sad. My basement, oh man, it doesn't have that cat smell. I miss all the cat vomit everywhere. I miss it so much. So she's underneath the back deck. Like she's just underneath it, just like occasionally meowing sad. It's yeah. Oh man, it's the saddest thing ever. I think we're on
Make a
day
cat
4.
one of those traps that she walks into and it just closes behind her.
Oh yeah, like a bear trap. Yeah.
no,
yeah.
no, like the one I
Yeah.
caught the stray with this year to bring to the, pet
So
place.
Based on his
Rat poison?
attitude, I don't think he tried that hard.
Yeah, me either. Really.
No. Listen, I legitimately have tried many
Oh, yeah.
times. I
Well,
legit,
I mean, if he's
I've
gonna
tried.
DM Dark Sun,
I've
you
tried.
might as well ignore the plea of the innocents and be ready to murder at any moment.
I think Scott tried as hard as Willy Wonka did that one time. Stop. Help. Please.
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
Well, actually, we had a nice little 2 weeks off. So that must mean Pat is exceptionally well versed in Pathfinder since you've had so much time to help him out.
Actually, yeah, Pathfinder. Pat knows Pathfinder. It's called Pathfinder now.
It's well, it's more like Pat Hinder.
No, it's just Pathfinder, dude. Like, don't.
No, there's
Yeah,
no.
the H is silent.
The
It's like
H is
Django.
silent.
Welcome to Patrick H. Finder, Esquire.
This Patrick or the other one you all keep tagging?
I haven't tagged him.
That's,
Look at-
no,
look
yeah.
at it.
Look, he's got a
Looking-
blue check mark, so if we can swap
I mean,
What's
they
the blue
are.
check mark?
in Twitter, verified, he's more famous than this Pat.
I didn't know that was a thing. Is that a thing? Can you get Twitter verified?
What? You're joking, right?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't believe you.
I don't.
Wade
I-
has like 700,000 more
I
followers
was
than
gonna
that
say
other
this is
Patrick,
no way.
and
Are
he's
you?
not
Do you have a
verified.
blue check mark, Wade, or no?
No.
Well, they only had one for the Markiplier friends, so
Yeah. I think it went to Ethan.
I think it did go to Ethan.
We did like a battle royale among
He did.
canned friends.
He did the Unis in my anus
He
channel
did 2
for a
front
year.
flips, landed perfectly. The rest, he got 10 out of 10. The rest of us like just flopped face first on the ground. They're like,
That was
Ethan,
it.
here you go.
Yeah, here you go. Here's your reward. It's all right.
That was
None
for
of
him
us will ever
playing,
be verified.
he
Welcome
actually
to the
earned it from
D&D
playing
show.
Schmeck. What was his name on the show? Pleck? Schmeck?
Who?
Schmeck?
Oh, the one that turned to goo.
Punch.
What?
Pudge. That's
Punch.
close.
That
Shit
was
his name,
Ethan's
honestly.
ability. He could turn into goo.
No, that was.
Mm.
Oh God, Pat.
That wasn't
the
an
other
ability.
The other Patrick responded.
Oh, did he say he
Oh,
wants
is
to
he
come
in
play?
chat? Or is he
No,
on
he
Twitter?
tweeted at us.
Oh.
Like, hey
I
guys,
can't-
can you Oh, that is blurry. It hurts my eyes. Okay, there we go. What did he say?
He
I
just did. He
said,
tweeted a GIF
That
with
poor
like.
Patrick can't get away from his scanning, right, Toke? And then he responded with, he just always sends one GIF where he looks like he's disappointed.
Well, you're disappointing him.
Do you
I
blame
should
him?
just follow this poor guy. I don't know who he is, but I'm gonna follow him soon. I think. I can't get away from him anyway. Pat, do you care if we just swap you out for him?
I just blocked him, dude.
Oh,
Two different
poor
responses to this
guy.
patch.
that poor guy. Oh, what? Can we get the reasoning for why you blocked him?
There can only be one.
No, I don't like him.
It's fair.
Fair enough.
He's a co-host. He's
He
not
puts
even
an
the
eye.
main
He
host.
puts an eye in Patrick.
Oh yeah, he's more co-host, more like cohort.
Ha!
I don't know how people get my name wrong. You just literally
Well, I follow
PTR.
multiple Patricks.
There's another Patrick. There's a couple people that spell their name the way I do. Jackass.
They're all.
I'm not the only Wade in the world.
Now that's mind-blowing.
I'm not the only Scott Davis in the world.
You search Wade, Dwayne Wade pops
have
up
the-
99% of the time.
We have the whitest, most boring names.
Wade?
Mike,
Michael,
Scott,
Patrick, Wade,
Pat,
Scott.
Wade.
I would argue Wade
Oh,
has the
Pat-
most boring name. I'd argue that.
Really? No, I
argue
think
it.
Wade has the more interesting out of us. If
Really?
Dave was still playing with us,
Oh, he
oof,
would win.
man,
He would win.
that's-
Yeah, he would be the worst.
what a boring name.
Oh. And then we had Jake with us for a while. Jake's like, oh, you know, he could be a little. It was mostly his accent that it
Yeah.
made up for the boring.
But you
name.
don't hear Jake a lot as a name anymore.
And then Ollie was at least a fun name. He's like Ollie, you know, like
I think
Like, it
of
has, like,
skating
a-
when I think of an ollie, and I don't know why. Is that a skating thing?
Yeah,
It
you
is
do an
a skate.
ollie.
Yeah, you do
Doing ollie. It's a hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like doing a kickflip.
See, I know a little bit about skating. I knew that there was ollies and that there's a Tony Hawk and that there's a guy that looks like Carrot Top.
That's
Sean-
Sean White.
Yeah,
Sean White.
Sean.
That's a flying
He's
tomato.
Sean Michael.
snowboarder.
Sean Michael? Is that the
Yeah, that's a
Well,
wrestler.
no, but he's also a skateboarder. It's just he wins gold as a snowboarder.
Sean
Yeah.
T?
He just
Is it
teaches
Sean
as a
T?
skateboarder.
Sean
That's Mark's
T is a
workout guy.
genie platforming game.
It's also Mark's workout thing. What's his name? Sean Michael?
Sean
Spicer?
White.
White.
Sean White is
I
his
was
name.
close.
Yeah, I said Sean White.
Mortifer does not worry about such trifleties as this.
Trifle tease.
If you just say it in that name, the voice, it just sounds like it's supposed to. He's supposed to sound stupid, and it wasn't just
Indeed.
you forgetting the word.
Indeed, it shall.
Why is Will Smith chilling behind you? Is he just like
Don't
creeping
worry
up
about
like,
that.
like it's okay if you know the Mulan movie's also better than mine. That's cool. I don't mind.
I heard
I
the
think they
Mulan
were
movie
all
was
bad.
It was
A lot of people
it
are
was actually-
boycotting the Mulan movie because of the comments the actress made about Hong Kong.
I mean, do you boycott the entire movie because of one actress? Because if that's the case,
I would
all
argue
all
yes,
Tom
they do.
Cruise- all Tom
I
Cruise
boycott
movies
the
ever-
movie because they're live action movies.
That's a fair reason, honestly.
But it's actually more true to Chinese film. If you watch Chinese film, it's actually like a Chinese
But
movie
it's a-
as opposed to being an American movie.
Right. But I'm just saying, they didn't need to make a live action movie.
Mortifer has never been to
Listen,
Chinese
live
movie.
action Cinderella was fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Granted, it's still the creme de la creme. It's
There's
still
only
the
one
best
voice for Be My Guest.
Oh, I agree. And it's certainly not a Scotsman putting on a terrible French accent, not holding a note. I agree. I agree with you.
All
I
right,
agree.
I hope
Well-
your beard falls off.
it's
I
finally
said
time.
it's not. I'm saying it's not Ewan McGregor. It's not.
Oh,
Ewan
okay.
McGregor. Yeah, just like what's her face.
I didn't know which
Terrible.
one was the Scotsman pretending to be a Frenchman because it wasn't like the singing was great,
No,
but it was
Ewan
definitely a
McGregor
big...
is very wrong. Sure, great Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hey, sexy, but not.
More like Obi wrong Kenobi, am I right?
No, he was actually the only good part of the prequels.
I didn't mind the prequels.
Well,
I wanted to
Honestly,
mind
I
after
didn't
the
mind
sequel
them either.
trilogy, me
Liam
either.
Neeson. Liam Neeson talking
Plot
about.
twist: the new trilogy was just to make people like the prequels more.
It worked. It worked. Liam Neeson, I liked Liam Neeson. I liked him a
Yeah.
lot.
Liam
in
His
episode
Neeson's
character
one.
niece,
was
son.
awesome.
Liam
Yeah,
Neeson's
this
niece
is
and
episode
Neeson.
one just didn't
I
have a
particular
plot.
set of skills.
Yeah, yeah. So he showed up and did his Taken voice and just started slaughtering people.
I look in chat to see Obi Dong Kenobi.
Oh shit.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, we gotta get to our main attraction. Why
Well,
everybody's
yeah.
here.
Do I put that on here? Should I add the lightsaber underneath Wade?
Oh, I thought you were gonna put on your BJ cam. Scott has a BJ cam now.
Oh, I just zoom out. Hold on.
Yeah, watch, guys.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it's
The microphone the microphone is just
eyes
placed
up.
wrong as well.
leading with the eyes is the wrong problem. Like, cause yeah.
Please zoom back in. Don't do this.
Mm.
Hey.
See, I was taking 29 shots, waiting to take a few too.
I've maybe taken a few.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, sorry.
Please make it stop.
I need to. I mean, this is. I said it already. This is like my third tripod I've tried with so far. I'm gonna have to keep trying.
That one's great, just not for this site.
Yeah, not for Twitch.
I'm trying to get what, because the issue is it's probably, so if my head stops here, it's probably actually set here, like right here. But then I can touch it with my fingers.
With
you know what
that
I mean?
tripod, your head doesn't stop there.
Oh, okay. You know what? Wade, you can add 1 health points to your character sheet permanently for that one. You can.
Really?
Yeah, Mortifer gains 1 health point for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
88.
So I think it was, by the way, asked what level were we?
7.
Yeah.
Level 7.
By the way, is my brother. He's nobody important.
You did say he had a superior beard to you.
Unfortunately, out of the brothers, he does actually have the better beard. To be fair though, he tries like really hard. Like I just grow it and trim it and grow it and trim it. He actually moisturizes and oils and grooms, and so he's like what's the word you use for somebody that lives in Cambridge? Just outside of Boston. Was a vegan for a long time. Goes hiking an awful lot, and really manicures their beard. What's that
Fucking
word?
arms just appeared.
So,
They were
hipster.
green screened at first, and then
Hipster.
they just appeared.
I noticed.
Sorry.
Not this time.
Do this here. I don't think you know what that meant. So ignore my brother. He's a hipster. He also brews his own beer. Moving on. So, hi gentlemen.
Do that
How we
all
doing?
the time?
I brew beer with my father, not like I brew my own beer, guys. It's different. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good. I used a ball shaver on my head today.
You did. I watched.
The Lawnmower 3.0 from Manscaped. I used it to help shave my head today.
Why didn't you just use a razor like that?
I did. I had to use 3 different ones.
What?
To get that extra
It
close,
doesn't quite
clean
get it as
shave.
close as you need to get it to use the super shaver, so I still had to use my normal beard trimmer to get it close enough to use the super shaver to get real bald.
I just use a Mach 3, and I used to just shave it with a Mach 3. Like I
So
would
the
take,
super shaver gets it to where even your skull gets shaved.
I'm
That
pretty
sounds
sure.
awful.
I'm pretty sure my skull was pretty shaved. It was too bald.
Yeah, you look very bald. It's got it working really well for you.
Well, Wade, I can grow hair, so like I had the option. To
I
start
can
growing
too,
hair.
just not all of them.
Like,
Oh, BRB. That's what that is.
all right. Anyways, hi everybody.
My hair is way too damn long, dude.
Nope, wrong. Didn't work. If you want to talk about long hair, that's too long. Let's look at Mike. Hey, Mike.
It's just long, man.
I don't know how
Hey, buddy.
long Mike's hair actually is.
Speaking of too
it does
long,
need to get
Scott has
trimmed.
a
I need to
blowjob
trim it
cam.
real bad. I'll show you. There you go. That's how long it is.
I can't see. Does it go like down to your shoulders?
It's like a little, like an inch past my shoulders in the back.
Oh, okay.
On the bright side, it looks like you took a shower today. That's a first.
Shut up, Scott.
So, but no, it does. It looks like you took a shower. Usually, I'm like,
My hair.
probably not in a week or
Oh,
so.
I pressed my
A
stop
week. I
stop
don't go
button,
more
but my
than a
XLR 's
day. I
broken.
shower every other day with long hair to not
Huh.
kill it.
My sideburns end like right here.
My hair's almost just as long. I guess I could see my hair a little bit better than Scott's, just because you got nice shadowy
My
parts like right
neckline
between.
is trimmed. My hair was down to like here, and
I
trimmed up
shaved my
neckline.
beard.
Yeah, me
No,
too.
no reason for it.
But
You ever
not
just
gonna
like
lie,
start?
it looked really weird at first because I trimmed the mustache. I didn't trim the rest, so it was like real bushy and then like, but I kind of faded it in so the mustache looks less like tiny compared. Take it away, Scott.
Unfortunately, I got a nice camera, so you can see all the grays now.
I actually was gonna say something. I was like, damn, I can see how old you're getting, like an HD, dude. You
Yeah,
actively
me too.
watch what having a child does to you.
Do you see the?
Yeah. Well, you've been gray for a while though, Wade.
I have
Since
gaze-
you've
I've
started
got gaze on all
playing
sides.
with-
I got grays on all sides. I've got gaze on all sides of my beard. I've got grays on all sides.
I mean, you might.
If they're into the salt and pepper, is that what it's called? Salt
Yeah.
and pepper look?
Sure.
I mean,
It's a look,
hey,
man.
Daddy.
Exactly. It's a thing now. Ride the daddy wave while it's popular.
Is it popular?
Right now on the internet, I mean, even if it's ironically or sarcastically popular, still ride it.
But then aren't you like really like a dad if you're like treating it like it's a real thing? But it's just
But
like,
how do you treat it? I guess. I
like
don't
if you're
know.
actually thinking like let's say if it's sarcastically popular, but you actually think it's a thing, like yeah, oh yeah, like isn't that definitely a dad thing to do? Like you're not getting the joke. No.
Could be.
All right. Anyways,
You
hi everybody.
guys remember that cemetery?
Oh, I do. Mike, do you remember that
I
cemetery?
just want to say
Oh
that.
yeah,
word.
with the one I got patted down by the cops.
Oh, you know what I can do? I can actually get that
Don't-
like, animal catching trap that you had mentioned.
You
I'll
caused
grab
this,
that.
Wade.
I'll grab that
This is your
trap.
fault.
I'll catch the cat. Bring her to the cemetery. Let her
And then
out.
we'll actually do a sacrifice like the cops thought we were doing
Oh, that's
with
like,
our D&D books.
no, I don't
Okay,
Open to page
chat, look.
154 for your
No.
druidic
I had to make I had to
cemetery
postpone it by
sacrifice.
a little bit. I rolled a 14, not a 20.
I
wanna-
farted
I
on that cop's hand so many times. I was so nervous. I was nervous farting real bad.
I feel like I should just take a pee, let you guys let it play out, and then come back and get it started.
You have a lot of work to do, mister, because a lot of these people don't know anything about our Dark Sun game.
Yeah, you gotta make it fresh for the new folks.
Well, I have to like start over and explain the world.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, you think Patch is gonna come in and be like,
Here.
yeah, Dark Sun.
Do a quick poll and see like what percentage of people know the story.
Who knows? Yeah, I got you.
You do that, Paul. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a beer.
Are you caught up with Dark Sun plot? Yes, no. 2 minutes. We're not going to allow any additional votes via points or anything.
I'm
would-
not
yeah, that would
caught up
be
on the
weird.
story. I'll be 100% honest.
Yeah, were you all here for season 1/season 2? Season 1 kind of ended when Dave went away, basically. I would consider that the end of season 1. Because didn't we take a
Did we only
break after
do- I
Dave
thought we did
died?
3 seasons of Dark Sun. It was only
Oh, it might have been 3. Whatever. I mean, it's all kind of blended together.
yeah 2/3 of people basically right now are no's.
I've been ready for 2 years. Has it been 2 years since we've played Dark Sun?
Have I known you guys for 2 years?
Yeah, you've definitely known us for 2 years. You've
Oh,
been
God.
a part of Lost Initiative almost longer, like a plurality of the time it's been around. Or no, like a majority of the time it's been around now.
I still feel new here. That's so weird.
Well, that's weird. But you're not. You're like a crux of this cast. You sucker. We got you.
Yeah, I really fell for it.
Mm-hmm. Season 1 was when you got married, Wade. Is that true? Let me go back. and
When did I
look.
get married? How long have I been married?
Yeah, yeah. Think you might want to think on that one.
2 years? When did I get married? When did I- Oh God, it's not a good sign that I already don't know.
Wow, Dark Sun was it was 2 years ago. Oh my God. May 16th, 2018 was episode 0. You and me doing our intro episode.
2016?
2018.
Oh,
May,
I like
May
dude, that's
16th.
May 6th.
2018.
That's the 6th I heard.
Scott, we're just Wade's been part of this channel now for a majority of the channel's existence. We just realized.
Someone
More
rolled
than
20.
half?
Yep. And
Yeah.
on top of that, Dark Sun episode 0 has been over 2 years now since we've done it.
Jesus Christ.
May 16th, 2018 is when Dark Sun episode 0 went live on the
Wait, we
YouTube
started
channel.
playing like a week before I got married.
Yeah, I think that's correct because I think you were like, I can play, but like it's gonna be choppy pretty early on.
Yeah,
You
because
went away for a week for your honeymoon. I actually vaguely remember you going away.
I don't
yeah,
remember
because
your
our
life.
wedding day was a Saturday, so I could have played like the Thursday before.
I remember that. That's when I was in quarantine for like 8
That's
hours
right.
of my life.
That was your pre-2020 quarantine.
Was that like,
Scott
were you prepping?
and everybody, 67% of the viewers are not caught up nor know the story of the first quote unquote chapter or part of the story.
To be clear, 60% of the people that
May
voted,
25th.
67%.
67% that voted. You know, that doesn't
That
actually
did vote, yes.
Like it's like one of those things where how many people actually, you know, vote for this president or that one. That's not actually the whole population.
All right. Well, let's start with
The beginning. Okay.
You're wondering how I got here.
Yeah.
Well, it all started when
Wade was recruited 2 years ago.
Did you just give us the opening of Sonic the Hedgehog?
I think
and
we did.
every movie that does like I bet you wonder how I got here. Like literally every single one.
Sonic was more recent. Okay. So, hi everybody. How you doing? Before we actually start the official session, let's give you a little bit of backstory. Dark Sun. If you're not familiar with it, it's a campaign setting that was invented probably before you were born, honestly. But if not, then pretty damn close to when. It's old as shit. It might be older than me. I don't think it is.
Who was the author? Who wrote the
Dark
original
Sun?
Dark
Who
Sun?
cares? Who cares?
Dark Sun
That's
is,
what I'm
if
saying.
it's
Who
not-
cares? Start the story.
If it's not as old as you, it's like if it's not older than you, it's close to as old because remember the gold label PC games from the late 80s exist.
Yeah.
Scott's
So-
basically give us like the trademark screen, like the little blue
Yep.
screen before the Disney logo,
Dark
before
Sun
the
started
intro
back
logo.
in
Just
1967.
So Dark Sun is a campaign setting that takes place in the world of Athos. Not Mathis. It has nothing to do with Mathis. Actually, Mathis stole it to sound cool. So it takes place in the world called Athos. Athos is a world that has multiple different eras to it, but what's important to talk about is the era that we exist in now. While a long time ago the world was green and lush and there was wonderful races of creatures, vibrant, and think Faerun or any other fantasy setting, Lord of the Rings, whatever you want. This is in the future from then. Not like a cyberpunk kind of future where they've developed technological developments or blah, blah, blah. Nothing like that at all. As a matter of fact, in this world, what they ended up developing really well was magic, specifically arcane magic. But what they realized, some people long ago realized, was while arcane magic would be powerful in and of its own right, it also had the ability, hey, you remember that old picture I sent you?
no, I just Googled Athos and stole it.
Oh, I used to send you those pictures to tell you. Never mind. So what they were able to do was they actually learned that if they actually draw life from the world around them, they can make their spells significantly more powerful. They created a type of magic called defoliation magic. So by walking into an area with a bunch of plants, they can defoliate the plants, steal that life energy, and use it to empower the spells. Well, as people got more and more powerful, they defoliated more and more and more. The planet went from a plush green and blue world to a more and more barren desert world. Now it's almost completely desert. There's one major forest left that exists in the area worth noting. The seas have dried up. Now the area where there was an ocean, it's called the Silt Sea. Silt is like sand so fine you can literally like sink in it. So they have like Silt Sea and stuff like that. So it's a huge desert world. Think Dune or Tatooine from Star Wars if you'd like. Anyways, in this kind of dystopian world, there are creatures called Sorcerer Kings. They're people, arcane users, that use magic so powerful, they're able to not only suck the life, using arcane magic to suck the life out of the plants around them, but also vast numbers of people all at once. We're talking tens of thousands of people in one fell swoop. Just devour them, sacrificing their lives into these orbs, these like obsidian orbs, keeping that that power inside the orb to draw upon to do massive spells, or to put it into themselves, to slowly transform themselves into dragons. Because in this world, dragons don't exist in the conventional sense like you can imagine in Greyhawk or again Faerun or any other generic fantasy world. Here, dragons are more like gods.
So what you're saying is, instead of being absorbed, I should have been turned into a dragon?
No.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it takes very powerful rituals that require over a year to cast, and you have to know what the fuck you're doing.
Well,
We got time.
yeah, we got all the astral plane time in the world.
No. So, you be quiet with the future. So, they use these magics to turn themselves into dragons. There's different tiers of dragons. Don't worry about it. The short version is dragons are effectively gods. They're immortal, so on and so forth. They're super powerful. but they call themselves sorcerer kings, and they took over city-states that exist with vast amounts of desert between them in this world. Kind of like if you're playing Fallout, how there's like a city and then like a whole bunch of horror, and then there's like a city and like a whole bunch of horror. Think like that. Anyways,
Reminds me of Mad Max.
it is very Mad Max. It came out in the 80s. If you Google Athos or Dark Sun, you will see very Mad Max hairstyles.
Wasteland's another good comparison for those who know Wasteland.
One of the things that people did because of they were given the command, it doesn't really matter. Certain sorcerer kings were actually given the command by somebody who was in charge a long time ago to wipe out entire civilizations, entire races or cultures. And many of them succeeded. So in this world, you will not find orcs. Certainly not 40k orcs. There are 0 orcs. Literally 0 orcs. As a matter of fact, the soul of the last orc exists in a pair of bracers that is on Wade's character's arms. And it gives him some cool magic power. Yay. Anyways, orcs don't exist. Neither do a lot of the other iconic races like gnomes or, I don't know, other ones.
Or Weisler.
There might be someone like me there.
Some of the other iconic races that you can think of just exist in a different way. Like elves are no longer these ethereal creatures that or ephemeral creatures, whatever, that exist inside these massive forests. They're actually like dune stalkers. They're like the Fremen from the Dune series, if you're familiar with that concept. They live out in the wilds and collect the small amounts of water that they can. They can run for countless hours as dune runners between distances, entering this like almost meditative state of running. It's kind of really cool.
What about the cute little things like halflings, like Samwise Gamgee?
Halflings, not hobbits. Halflings have unfortunately resorted to cannibalism to survive. So they eat people. They eat each other. They eat other people. They do what they got to do. They're very barbaric and so on and so forth. So halflings, yay. And again, et cetera, et cetera. One of the biggest new races you should think of is something called the mule. The mule is actually a crossbreed between humans and dwarves. They make these sterile, massive sized, almost think Goliath if you're thinking of 5e creatures. These massive creatures that are really dumb, but very strong. But most importantly, very unlikely to develop latent psionic abilities. That's right, because while arcane magic in this world is feared, not appreciated, people genuinely hate it, psionics have developed very common in this world. As a matter of fact, there's literally a rule in the original version of the game where you have to roll, I think, a D100, and based off of the result is how powerful a psionic character walks in with. Might be not at all, could be very powerful, but you just walk in with this ability, just as a random character. Random NPCs will have some small amount of power or an incredible amount of psionic power. That supplements what you would usually think of as like a high magic world. It's a high psionic world in this. Mule, pretty much not psionic. They can be if you're playing a PC, but they pretty much don't exist, which makes them great servants and laborers or slaves. There's lots of slavery, lots of slavery. It's one of the easiest ways to collect tens of thousands of people and sacrifice them all at once to make a new orb of power for you to use to make your next tier of dragon power. Moving on. This world is meant to be dystopian. It's meant to be evil. Your heroes in it aren't really heroes. Let's meet some of our heroes. In the series that we ran before on the channel, we had 4 heroes to start off with. Jack, an Ephesian bard. What's an Ephesian bard? Oh, clearly they must be wonderful with twisting a word or strumming a tune or can hold a melody. Mike, can Jack sing?
Actually, I don't think he can sing at all. Let me check his perform check.
No, he can't.
Nope, no, he can't.
Okay, no. But he's pretty mean on the lute, right?
Nope.
Okay, so
he's got nimble fingers though.
He does. An Ephesian bard is more or less a rogue in the conventional sense that is really good at making drugs. Like really good at making drugs.
Still a social class in a lot of ways, but just the evil version.
Yeah, I mean like really good drugs. Like you want to kill the king, you can get good poison off of an Ephesian bard, or you just really want to have a good time, man.
We're poisoning the garrison of an entire barracks over the course of a week with opium and watch them slowly go mad and kill each other. And then you walk in and clean up the rest.
Yeah, they did
Oh,
that.
that's right. They were all like shitting
Yeah, they were
themselves. It was awful.
I did the bard thing. The quiet, painful but
Somebody
clean hands.
poisoned the water hole.
Yeah, that's basically how it went down.
So much opium.
Yeah,
So much
so
opium.
much. I had a free lab to just make so much and opium's cheap to make, I remember too. But
Yeah,
anyway, yes, that's what Enthesian Bard is.
Yeah.
we did that.
So that's a hero. We also had another hero that joined him when they originally met underneath an arena. This guy is, oh God, his name's hard to remember. He's like quiet. He's meek. What the hell's his name?
Einer.
Let's see. Met him at the bottom of arena. He killed a couple of
Shawshank
people.
Redemption.
No.
Ollie.
No. Oh, that's right. His name's Mortifer.
Mortifer is not easy to forget.
Mortifer is this meek, quiet character that genuinely, he likes to open the door for people, and he's kind of a gentle soul. Right, Wade?
This does not sound like the Mortifer I know was of me.
So how does Mortifer resolve problems?
There is no problem for Mortifer. Everything's easy.
Okay. But if Mortifer...
Jack solves problems with Mortifer.
So you're saying that Mortifer's a tool for Jack?
You know, in times of combat, yes, absolutely. Because
Mortifer, are
I
you a
don't
tool?
fight.
Mortifer does not understand the question.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mortifer's a great guy.
He's
Great
a
guy.
good guy.
You know, he's a big guy. He can get really big. We'll worry about that later. They
He's only
also
like 12 feet tall. 11'7" I have listed.
They also met a couple of other people. A really, really old, decrepit guy named Einer, and some sketchy dude that kind of murdered, but he was dirty. He was like, pick your nose and wipe it on your shirt before he walked away from the conversation dirty. Like,
He was pure Athos in human form.
Well,
yeah.
halfling form.
Ollie did a
Pure
great job of being like, what is this cool world? I'm gonna play this cool world. It was gross. It was awesome. Anyways, those two characters, one of them decided to give up adventuring so he could do lots of drugs, serve a sorceress queen, master, and have sex with lots of women. So I think he's dead now. Doesn't really matter.
Einer's probably not dead yet.
Einer actually helped to alter a ritual that was transpiring where they were trying to gather ridiculous amounts of energy. Well, the short version is Einer, you think maybe died or something else happened to him. Doesn't matter. Einer channeled a crazy amount of divine energy into these two schmucks, these guys right here, and turned them into, I don't know how to get the thumb thing out there. Turn them into like demigods. Yeah, that's right. They have something called mythic power.
Mortifer was already pretty strong.
Do you think Mortifer's stronger now than he was then?
Only mentally.
Does Mortifer know what mentally means?
No.
You heard Jack say it in a conversation one time.
Okay. Mortifer is a very stable genius. Okay. So.
Stable. One of Mortifer's
I was gonna say
quirks
stable,
is,
really?
Mortifer every day is a different shade of chaotic depending on what happened the day before.
Mortifer's a half giant. Half giants in this world are a little
Malleable.
yeah, their alignments kind of shifts. It kind of goes with it. Doesn't really matter. They traveled the world together for a while, with various companions. Since then, a guy named Uba, it doesn't really matter. A guy named Pudge, Pudge turned to sludge. As these godlike creatures. Anyways, it all inevitably brought them to the situation where they actually had this ridiculously powerful orb that they found hiding inside of one of these sorcerers' castles. They didn't touch it because that would be dumb. Snatched it, brought it with them. This world is unique because it's severed from the astral plane. If you don't know what that means, cool. Short version, you use it to get to other planes of existence where gods live and magic comes from. That doesn't happen here. Instead, you have access to the inner planes like earth, fire, wind, water, heart. No heart. And that's where the clerics and druids get their power from. The inner planes, not the outer planes. Again, moving on. Einer was unique because when he sacrificed himself, he kind of like ripped open a hole that allowed them to go to the astral plane. The astral plane became accessible for the first time in countless generations or eons in Athos. They went there. And Jack kind of did a thing. He took the orb and he pressed it against this big, kind of like stone orb or whatever he came across. And the orb stopped being this condensed thing of black souls and just stretched out across the big gigantic ball that was floating in the astral plane. And he's like, I'ma touch it. Jack, what happened next?
Well, I thought I was gonna get turned into a dragon, but apparently the rules get broken and I died.
Well, you didn't die till
I got sucked into the soul and became one of the countless. That's what happened. I got sucked into the orb and became one of the countless souls trapped.
That's what happened to Jack's soul. What happened to his body?
It collapsed and then got possessed.
by
And it
all
was
of
very
the souls.
clearly not me, but I think Mortifer was too stupid to realize. No, you killed me again, didn't you?
Yeah, coup d'etat you.
Coup de, yeah. You figured out it was me because it was very clearly not
Coup de
me. It was like, we
grace,
are
coup
Legion,
d'etat.
basically. And you were, and so you're just like, and you're dead.
Coup de matata?
Coup de grace.
Yeah, coup de grace.
March,
I
I
wish it was
love
Hakuna
Mardi
Matata.
Gras.
It was not.
Great place, great time.
Now, every time Wade has explained this story, I believe you said that you kept his head.
Well, I
Yes.
had part of his
Sentimentality.
body in my pocket, but then we teleported. So he wasn't technically dead because in the astral plane, there's not really time. So he was at the moment of death. So if we left the astral plane with his body, it was immediately. But while we were still
On
there,
death's
he was-
doorstep. I play Darkest Dungeon. I understand.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Anyways, he did this with this guy named Uba. They left the astral plane, met up with some wizard along the way. Oh, I mean, Psionicis along the way.
Wink.
And things kind of ended there. That's kind of a recap of Athos and a recap of what was done in the last couple of seasons. Oh, there's one really super important scene we forgot to describe for those of you that weren't here before. So there's this really important thing that happened. I think it was the end of season 1, where they were going to go and try to find something hidden within the Sorceress Queen's home. So they finally, after all this work and effort and poor Mortifer, lots of talking, they found their way into the Sorceress Queen's vault. But in the vault, all they found was a lot of treasure. They knew there had to be more. There was a secret opening underneath the vault. If only they could find out how to open it.
We never did
Favorite
find
sex
out what
maneuver,
your.
finger the butthole.
Yeah, that's how we did open it.
Oh, that's
but
what this. Wade and I had this talk
know how I
on New
knew?
World the other day.
Because his wife has told me many times it's a secret favorite thing. And I was like,
that's where the secret button is.
yeah.
Poor Wade. Your wife's telling Mike this
No,
stuff?
your wife. Come on now, Scott.
My wife?
Yeah, that's how I knew that the button was in there, dude.
Oh. Is that true, Brett? Is there a button in there?
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's
Oh, I heard her twice. Scott, you never did tell us what you don't tell us now, but you never did tell us what the actual solution was going to be.
Doesn't matter. You know what?
Watch, we end up going back. Jack's like, don't worry. I know
got
this
this.
one.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Do I give any backstory on this one? No.
No.
Give me backstory? No, just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Okay, well, check the scene. Find it. Maybe if you're
It's when we
inside
knew
our
this was going to be a
Discord, somebody will
special
link it for you.
campaign.
Yeah, that's when we knew.
Once the trade negotiations of episodes 1 through 7 were done, we fingered the butthole.
Well, you gotta get the prequel series out of the way first.
Oh, God. Is that why Anakin was always so angry?
He's just always like, I don't gotta go to another goddamn meeting.
It's coarse and it's grainy and it gets everywhere.
This is my butthole.
Oh, I hated sand people. Anyway, yeah.
So that was a recap. Where's Pat's character come into place? Good question. You don't get that answer. So again, kind of where we left off, Mike's character Jack had died.
Mm-hmm.
Mortifer was traveling with somebody named Uba and had just recently encountered and started traveling with somebody else. What?
Pythian.
Somebody else by the name of Tithian, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't matter. Because time has passed. Mortifer is no longer with Tithian. Mortifer is no longer with Uba. Time has passed.
What happened?
Mortifer has continued to travel this world. Not afraid of a challenge, not afraid of a fight. He's faced beasts beyond any legend he's ever heard.
How many levels did he gain?
He has fought incredible battles, defeated remarkable creatures. Creatures, again, beyond any legend he's ever heard. A creature literally comprised of sand. But the issue was every time he would smash the sand with his mighty hammer, every pile of sand that would fall off of it would create a new creature of sand that would attack him. And he would just continue to smash it, and they would just continue to turn into smaller and smaller creatures of clumps of sand that came after him. He doesn't even remember how he won that fight, but he knows that every time he came across these remarkable beings, he grew stronger. He felt more might and more power.
I like that description.
As
I'm ready to
time,
level up.
as time went on, he grew more and more distant
Awesome.
from other people. He heard rumors of something. Again, these legends that speak in such a way you would think that they're not true. You think they're not possible. He heard of a way to shatter time. He heard of a way that he can correct things that were wrong. And so he embarked on a task to make this happen. Unfortunately, to do so, to follow these legends that he mostly beat out of people, since he lacks the charisma or finesse to talk it out of them, or the understanding of finance to buy it out of them. He more often than not took it from them, sometimes limb from limb, as he discovered, depending on what day it was, as he discovered more and more rumors and more legends. He traveled deep into the deserts. Whether it be weeks or months, he doesn't know how much time passed. But he traveled deep into the deserts. At one point, coming across a town that, by the time he came to them, he knew that they had a water source. He needed water. If anything got between him and the water, those things would suffer.
What did I need water for?
Because even mythic power has limitations. The day-to-day, the desires that you need, even the week-to-week, doesn't matter. For a creature of incredible power, emanating from within. But enough time passes, enough time walking in the sun, even that can wane. He didn't even speak a single word to these people, having forgotten how it is that you would even communicate. Luckily, he's been able to find himself outside of that shell that he was in as he traveled deeper and further. Found himself into an old, honestly, he didn't give a shit what it was. Cavern, temple, ruins, it doesn't matter. There was a hole, he went in it, because the rumor said it would be there. It was probably something he'd have to kill, and either it'd answer his problems, or it wouldn't. It would just be another day. He fought many creatures then, the walls themselves seeming to come to life. There was a being that seemed old and tired. It moved strange, almost twitchy in the way it moved, massive in size, but not as massive as Mortifer. No. But it also had the ability to move, even though its movements were twitchy and strange, seeming to almost have a clockwork nature to it. Sometimes it can move so quickly. It seemed like, to Mortifer, like he was stuck in time as it moved around him. Other times it can move so slowly, Mortifer didn't seem to be able to harm it, because Mortifer just couldn't impact something that moved so incredibly slowly. It confused Mortifer and enraged him. He got bigger, because that's what he does. He doesn't know if he destroyed the creature or if he disabled it. He's not aware. What he knows is he hit it enough times that his hammer cracked horribly. Einer's not here to fix it. Jack's not here to fix it. There's cracks in it, and there's nobody to beat into fixing it for him. Whatever, keep moving. Things stopped moving for a time, maybe permanent. He went further and deeper into this structure that he found himself in. And there it was. As the legend said, it was the mighty hammer that he had been searching for he honestly doesn't know how long. Mortifer can't really count past 12. He knows he has 10 fingers and 10 toes, but But once he gets past the fingers, it gets really confusing. Just don't bring it up. He might get angry. Anyways, it was a long time. He approached it, excited. Could be another mirage. He's had to deal with those before. Mirage indoors, though? Never heard of that. Mortifer's mind is too mighty to be overtaken by a simple mirage. Mortifer reaches out for the hammer. He wants to touch it. Wade, do me a favor. Describe to me what this hammer looks like. This thing.
Oh, I have a very vast description prepared. I'm glad we talked about this so I could think it through. Oh, it's got a handle and a hammer at the top that you swing. It looks cool for a hammer. Legendary, in fact. Unique. One of a kind in its hammerness.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Before we continue, how much did you spend on your improv classes?
Not enough.
So sorry. So would you like me to describe it for you, Wade, or would you like to come up with a description?
I just tried to Google legendary hammer appearances for images, and Paper Mario came up for some reason. I don't know why.
All those legendary Paper Mario hammers.
I like to think that the hammer part itself is like a cool looking black. Not obsidian, but like it looks just, I don't know, like an unnatural black. The handle itself, probably less, I mean, still like, you know, unique, but less remarkable than the actual hammer part itself. There's just something about looking at the head of the hammer that just, I don't know, your gaze kind of stays fixed to it. What it actually looks like other than that, I don't know. It's got
Imagine
some-
your gaze stays fixed to it, and it's one of those things where you just kind of like blink once or twice. You're like, whoa, I totally like phased out for a moment there, almost like you were lost in it. Like time just slipped away from you for a couple of minutes. Mortifer reaches out to grasp this hammer. As soon as his hand, the slightest touch of the first fingertip, reaches out to grab it, he can feel it opening up to him. He can feel it, its power resonating outwards. The thing about this hammer is that it is so powerful. If a lesser creature were to try to grab it, it would easily overtake them, potentially even just destroy them or do something else. But
That will be fun for me to toy with.
Mortifer is not a lesser thing. Mortifer grabs the hammer. It starts to recoil, and almost immediately, talking as soon as he touches it, it realizes what it's dealing with. It opens up. He can feel in his mind one word: nexus. He knows what he's holding. He's heard the legend of its power. He doesn't understand all of its abilities, but there's one that he does know it has. If you pour yourself into it, you can shatter time. You can literally shatter the fabrics of time, grabbing the shards and reorganizing it to how you want it to be. He needs to pour some of it into himself. He knows it's the only option. Mortifer has fought many creatures and gathered their power with each individual fight, gaining more and more of that mythic energy. The fuel source of this ability. He pours that mythic energy into the hammer and swings a mighty blow, realizing the DM is not going to give him extra levels or mythic power tiers. So, you know. Ha.
Got him.
Got him.
As he swings the thing mightily, just in the air, seemingly at nothing, it strikes everything. Literally the fabric of reality, the fabric of time. He sees as he strikes it hard, it's like a boom. A huge wave goes out, like smashing into a wall of force from an invisible field, getting a momentary glimpse at the fact that there is something there that this hammer can hit that other things would not be able to even touch. He swears he felt a crack when he did it. He felt he's broken many things. It's starting to give under his mighty blow. He reels back again, swings mightily. One more blow, he can do it. Swinging mightily one last time, he smashes into, again, the fabric of time itself, and it shatters into thousands, tens of thousands, millions, maybe more pieces all around him. Some tiny little chunks, some
More
as
than
small
10.
or 12. Some even as small as a grain of sand. Others being huge floating chunks, like you can imagine a polar bear stranded on in the middle of the shrinking polar caps. Is floating around him in this massive room that he found the hammer in. It's moving around. As he looks around at all these different shards, he sees different sights. He looks outwards. He sees, he remembers when he defeated that creature in the arena. Tithian. That fuck. That slimy piece of shit. He was a defilator, the defoliator the entire time, and hiding beneath Mortifer's very, sights, his very gaze with Mortifer. When Mortifer discovered what it was he was doing, the fact that he was sapping life away from him and Uba to enhance his powers, let's just say Mortifer sapped his life away. He grins slightly at seeing that image go by, and the smatter that hits the glass as it floats. He remembers watching the fateful accident that happens to Uba. He sees the moment where Shashuk says, "Go on without me," and lies backwards into the bed, surrounded by the men and women that he intends to continue entertaining himself with. He sees the moments that, he doesn't remember that. Strange. Must have happened. Mortifer doesn't forget things. It was just not important enough to recall it this time. He sees a glimpse of, that is mother. Not important. This isn't what Mortifer wants. There's one particular thing that Mortifer's focusing on. One particular thing that Mortifer knows will correct everything that has gone wrong. Wait, what does Mortifer focus on? What is he trying to form in his mind? What shard is he searching for?
Well, I mean, Jack. Exactly what moment he's looking for, I don't know that he just... probably the first one he sees where Jack's still alive.
Thinks of Jack. That's why he came here. Jack always had the answers. Jack always knew the answers. It's his friend, his companion. Him and Jack knew each other so well. He focuses on Jack. He focuses on his companion. Other shards go by. He sees other images, other people. It doesn't matter. He sees Jack. He remembers when he used that axe. He had to. He had to. There was no other option. Not then. It was too late. Moments before. Was it moments? It doesn't matter. Time didn't exist there. And I control time here. He finds a moment in his own past. Jack took the orb. He touched it to the giant floating sphere in the astral plane. He touched it to the sphere. It started to spread. Now is when he needs to do it. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how. He sees the moment. He needs to be there. The moment is literally passing before him. He needs to get into it. Does he smash this piece? What does he do? He reaches out and he grabs it to try to touch it, to try to figure out what to do. And as he touches this shard, it cuts into his hand. A small little drop of blood. That's all it takes. It causes a swirl to happen around him. Other shards are flying by. Other pieces flying past him. He doesn't care. Whatever. What does it cut? He grabs onto it. Another nick here or there. Doesn't matter. He holds on to the shard as hard as he can. He's pouring his essence into it. He's going to make this happen. And then, as though he was there the entire time, Mortifer stands where he was standing before. Floating just off of the sphere with his hammer in hand. Not the hammer that he had before, not the hammer he injured on whatever creature he just fought not long ago that doesn't really give a shit what it was. The hammer that he was just holding. He's confused. He looks up. It's milky white. All around him. There's Jack. Blackness is spreading around the giant sphere in the astral plane. Uba. Right there. Uba. You haven't seen him in so long. If only Uba knew. His family did live. They did. Maybe he wouldn't have died. Jack's right there. He's got that look in his eye. Jack always gets that fucking look in his eye. He's starting to float down. Because he knows he can. Mortifer, what do you do?
What Mortifer does best. Swings.
Make an attack roll for me?
Yeah. I don't have that hammer on the sheet. We've not done that.
Oh, that doesn't matter. Actually, you're going to want to do your, imagine your swift action one to make it really fast and to make sure you strike true.
I really hate how I see a picture of Mortifer here on the roll for it, but I just imagine Wade is like the Hulk, but a bit more smart.
He said
far
roll
off.
for it and not roll 20. Here's an actual
Roll
image.
20, sorry.
Here's an actual image of Mortifer. Oh, I cut off his head. Boo hiss. Here's an actual image of Mortifer for everybody, so you can understand who we've been
That
describing
image,
this whole time.
that image of him literally does look like me more than Mortifer. But, you know,
Yeah.
I see Mortifer different in my head than myself, but that looks very much like Wade with hair, as a beef. You know, me and my teens.
That's what Wade looks like now if he took off his shirt.
And this is Jack.
Yeah, that's Jack.
So, just as a fun fact, we need to try to contact F Snow Zombie and see if we can get him to make Zeke. But not
Yeah,
yet.
definitely.
Let's let Pat get a good description as head of it first. All right.
All right, so to make an attack roll on Pathfinder, do I click the attack, not the item name? Is that how we decided to do it?
Oh, yeah, Scott. A few people saying try not to lean too far out of your mic. You're kind of quiet, and you do cut out if you get too low.
This is actually an issue I meant to talk to Pat about today before we end the call later on. I'm having this issue very, very consistently, and it's bothering the shit out of me. I literally spent 45 minutes last night trying to fix it, and I can't.
Do you have a cloud
I have
boost
to,
or
I have to,
anything?
the microphone, or it doesn't work. What did you say?
I said, do you have a cloud boost or anything?
I don't know what a
Something
cloud
to
boost
boost
is.
It would go between your microphone and your board that you're using.
I have a processor. I have the same shit that Pat has. So Pat can answer that question.
Okay,
To
so
answer
then-
that question, no, he doesn't.
Yeah, then I mean, but if he has your setup, then you shouldn't need one. So
Again, I just need to figure out what's going on.
you stay close, stay
Yep.
close to the microphone. That's all.
No, I will figure it out.
Even
after
when you
the
ate the
stream.
mic, it wasn't even that loud.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's keep
It's
going.
been a long time since I've done this. Did it work?
Sorry, I didn't get to answer
I
your
didn't see
question.
any. Oh, nope, there we go. Oh, dice. I forgot about dice.
So just so people are watching in chat, so you understand why it just rolled 2d20 instead of what you're used to, which is probably 1d20. The way that Pathfinder or 3rd edition or 3.5 works is when you roll an attack roll, you roll a d20 to see whether or not you hit. Certain numbers trigger a chance to critical hit. For most weapons, it's a natty 20. For some weapons, 18, 17, 16, 19 to 20, whatever it is. Then a second die roll is rolled to see whether you confirm the crit. So natty 20 is not an automatic crit, it's a chance to crit, and then you have to confirm that crit by beating their AC a second time. Unfortunately, the way that Roll20 works, it's through JavaScript, and their own system, their own version of JavaScript is not very good with if-thens. So it's not a if it triggers a chance to crit, then roll the other die. It just rolls them both at once and sees whether or not it needs it afterwards. It's kind of unclean that way, but you'll always see 2d20s get rolled. This gets even uglier when it comes to rolling damage, which you'll see in just a moment.
Yeah, you see a lot of dice. Also, big
Molly, thank you for the
Molly
raid. You're just in time to watch me hit Mike with an axe.
Yay! Why are we
Uh,
swinging at me? Am I already possessed?
Not an axe. Oh, not swift axe. You actually could have attacked with your You could have attacked
That's
with
the
your hammer.
swift weapon. I said hammer, and you said, no, you're going to use your swift weapon.
Oh no. I'm so sorry, Wade. By swift thing.
You
let me
did say
just do-
swift weapon.
I said
I've
your
only
swift-
got one.
To be clear, sorry, I said swift attack, and I'll show you what I mean by that because it's been a hot minute for you, Wade. It's right. Give me 1 second. It's
Do you
way
mean
down
my
here.
ability?
Correct.
Sudden attack?
Yeah, that one. Where is it?
As a swift action, you can expend 1 use of mythic power.
Yeah, I can't find.
It's way down toward the bottom.
It's not letting
Yeah,
me
when
get
you
all the way
said
to the
swift,
bottom.
you said use your swift weapon. I'm pretty sure, and I've only got 1 of those.
I think I said swift attack.
I said I've
that's
not
okay.
added this hammer to the thing. You're like, oh, that's okay. You're not going to want to use that anyway. You're going to want to use your swift attack.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Sudden attack. That's what it's called. This one.
Yeah, the thing I said that
You're not going
isn't
to want to
called
hit it with
swift
an
attack.
axe. You're going to want to hit it with the hammer in your hand.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I said. And
attack
you
with your
go,
hammer, sir. Roll way worse. That'd be funny.
29 is
Penetrated.
About 1 less.
Not true, because now the swift attack, he gets to add 4 to that roll, equaling a 32.
There you go.
You also get to roll twice and take
3
the
more.
better of the results for your attack, but that doesn't matter. So, Wade, roll a second. Oh, we'll just say that this is your second one. Now roll your damage. Roll an 18 twice. That's funny.
I love the pause between like hitting the button and having to wait for all the dice to load in.
So if you can see right here, there's a 25 and there's a 71. This is to chat to explain what you're seeing, and to Pat, who's also seeing it. That 25 is because 3d6 is his base damage, is his current size and weapon and so on and so forth. But that other weapon does actually 9d6, I think is what it's rolling. So in total, it's going to roll 12d6 onto the screen, even though we're only using 3d6 of them. Again, it's a very poorly written character sheet, but it's what we have to work with because it's Pathfinder and Roll20. So I know it looks like a lot of dice and it might be confusing sometimes. Sorry.
I don't know if it matters the intent, but Mortifer's intent is not to hurt, it's to get him off the path of going toward the orb.
Oh, I understand, but
Oh, I'm
the
on my way
easiest
up to the orb? No, on my way down? Okay.
Yeah, on your way down, yeah, you're floating down.
Down
into
to
it.
the orb?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay, cool. I misunderstood what I was doing.
It's funny, it
I
says
didn't know.
Jack's current health points is 26.
That probably
That's
makes
1.
sense. Yep. So you just whack me to 1 and I go rocketing.
You would have been full at the time that this happened because there's no reason you
Oh,
wouldn't be.
gotcha. And my max is 60.
Yeah, and you get to add also your tier to the amount of damage too, I believe. Doesn't really matter. You did like we'll call it 30 points of damage. So you smash Jack with your hammer with its full force at a place where gravity doesn't really exist. Gravity is kind of controlled by your own force of will, and his force of will was distracted by being hit from behind and decide for 30 points of damage all of a sudden. Needless to say, you yeet Jack.
I was going to say,
That
I
way.
feel like my body and my brain would react like what it would be used to, which is gravity and momentum and inertia. So even if I didn't go anywhere, my body would be like, oh, we got hit, time to go. And just kind of, and then kind of just go flying with the hit of the hammer.
That is true. You don't react to being attacked very well. It's usually fetal position.
Yeah, it's usually hide.
Jack is really just Mike.
Well, in a lot of ways, physically, yes.
Anyways, so Mortifer, you smash Jack from beside, and you see him go flying like crazy, flying
Probably
across
just
the
go,
way.
he's from here, we go, what the fuck?
Mortifer remembers Jack is gravity.
Just come flying towards me.
As you start memorizing that Jack is gravity, roll me a perception check, Mortifer.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, pretty much.
You notice something strange happening overhead behind you. It's over near Uba. You see strange shards over near Uba. It doesn't matter. Strange shards over near Uba. You see Jack for the first time in, what's it been? Years? 3? 7? 14 years? Honestly, you really don't know how to count. You have no idea. But you see yourself flying towards Jack. Jack is gravity. It's something you can do in the astral plane. Jack is gravity. You start flying towards Jack with speed and precision. He has heavy gravity. You're going towards him. Jack, how do you react?
I'm probably screaming. I'm probably like very confused. And honestly, I'm just flying through the air as you're flying towards me.
How many power points is it to enlarge?
1 to large size, I think 8 or 7, something like that to, you're already large. 1 to huge size, 7 or 8 to gargantuan size. Let me show people what this means.
I'm going gargantuan.
Chat, let me see if I can find out where this is. I have this hidden somewhere. Hold on.
we've been playing for an hour. Wade's like, I want to grow.
It's time to get big.
There it is. I was like, why can't I find this? And I hit it.
Mortifer's
So
the
chat,
only-
just so you can see, I'm so sorry, Wade. Chat, just so you can see how this works. Right here on stream, you're gonna see right beneath me here, between them, this little guy right here. Oops, sorry. That's actually Jack. This is a normal sized person to scale. So, hey, look at this. It's Jack. He's medium sized. Mortifer is normally a large sized person. He has ability. He's just Mortifer or Murderfer.
Murder.
Is a large sized person. That's how big he is normally. He's a half giant. He has the ability to spend a small amount of power as a sonic warrior to become huge sized, and he can stay that way for a while. It's pretty awesome. He also has the ability to spend a lot of power to get even bigger. To put that into perspective, that is Jack next to Mortifer. And you can see how big and scary that could possibly be. Which is what, ooh, okay, I didn't need to do that. Let's just do this. Boom. And that's how it goes. Yay. Back to you, Wayne. You were saying?
So as I'm flying toward him, I want to grow into gargantuan size.
Absolutely. And so you
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
While you're flying towards him, does his size increase with him going gargantuan? Does the speed, the velocity of which Mortifer is going, increase? Like he's just becoming a bullet?
So gravity is going to be as strong as Mortifer's will can make it. There is limitations to that based off of mental attributes. And,
Go very fast, Wade.
And there is no air resistance here because there is no air here. So it's a vacuum. So he doesn't necessarily get any faster. He'd be going the same speed.
So
Jack
Mortifer's
is as dense
plan,
as Mortifer wants him to be.
as soon as Jack is within reach of Mortifer, he wants to grab him and shift gravity back toward, I guess, whatever they were standing on or wherever they were before.
It was the orb. But that's okay, because Mortifer, remember, it's wisdom-based. Mortifer had the ability to choose to stop above things, to hover between two different gravities. So you're going to, as soon as you reach forward, you grab him. Jack, Mortifer's now gargantuan size.
You're like attacking me out of nowhere, basically. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I would do. Honestly, what I would do, what Jack would do is something Jack would just very Jack. It'd be a two-step process. One, attempt to make Mortifer forget who I am. And two, go perfect mimic and look like somebody entirely different.
The forget to make him look like he is doesn't work on him because he is a mythic person, so it doesn't work. And you try to look like a completely different person. Who do you try to look like?
I was just gonna try and look like
Bloop it in chat, please.
Bloop it in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Which chat? Zoom chat?
No.
He just wants you to use the ability on your sheet. So that
Oh.
There you go. Bloop. Very mimic. Thank you.
Yep.
Describe.
I was just saying, look like Einer. I won't be able to read his mind because Einer's not within a mile and he's likely dead, but I can at least look like him, sound like him, etc.
If you expend one use of the mythic power when creating this disguise to impersonate an individual, you can read that creature's mind as if the detect thoughts.
Yeah, but he's nowhere
with the range of-
nearby.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I'll just look and sound like him, basically.
Okay. That's fine. All right, so all of a sudden he looks like Einer. Mortifer, it's simply a disguise check. You want to roll a disguise versus perception, please?
No, he has to make a will saving throw.
Does it
Doesn't
say that?
he? No, it's target of impersonation. Yeah, I just got to make a disguise check with +10.
Yep, and he gets to make his perception check.
Now,
Mortifer,
isn't
before
there-
you...
There's some kind of, it says that those familiar with the individual receive only half the normal bonus. So I don't know what that means.
Mortifer, you're going to get, because you know Jack, you know the ability, you know all this stuff, you get a circumstantial bonus of a +15. So just make sure you add that 15 to miscellaneous before you click the actual skill.
Mine would be
This
a
is
total. 31.
Jack. You know Jack too well. Oh, sorry.
There's something.
I said +15. I meant +10. I'm so sorry. I meant +10. Miscellaneous.
God,
+10.
there's something floating like on Wade's face on the stream.
Oh, I know what it is.
I think it's
What?
the like slider thing.
Yep,
Oh.
it's gone now. I have to. I don't think this is allowing me to hide my cursor the way it used to. Yeah, it doesn't let me hide my
Me
cursor.
by 10. Even 10.
You easily know what it is that he's doing. You
Without
easily
that
understand,
circumstantial bonus, we would have tied, for the record.
and you still would have won. So, anyways, you easily are able to overcome his disguise. You see him, you grab him, he becomes, honestly, he looks not quite like Einer. Maybe it's his nose, his ears, his eyes. Feel free to comment or not comment as you see fit, Wade.
Well,
You
it's mostly that he's alive and breathing.
That too. You alter gravity, or at least your perception of gravity, down, and start going back towards the sphere. Do you say or do anything else? Either of you?
I can't do much.
Mortifer, I mean, Mortifer holds you and he's looking at you weird because you look like Einer, but like, you see him, he can't say anything, but you see like a look in his face, like softening. Like he's not caring at all about the fact he just hit you with a hammer, but just the fact that like he's holding.
And where?
Jack
And how are you
again.
holding me right now? Like, are you just like
Just,
my neck?
just to keep you from getting away, not to hurt you, not to. He's just
Gotcha.
holding you to keep you like. Almost, I don't know. He's almost like cradling you, but in his hand as a giant.
Oh yeah.
Half giant.
I probably swat at your hand, and as I like hit your hand, the disguise just drops, and I'm just Jack again. I'm just like, let go of me, you fucking idiot!
His hand is the size of like a bathroom door.
Yeah,
to
no, I
you.
know. I'm like, it's like a fly, like swatting at like his knuckle. Basically, is what you see. It's just like I'm like whack is it your knuckle as the disguise drops. The fuck happened to you? Let go!
You like, I don't know. I think his expression just continues to soften. You probably see his eyes welling up. And he still just cannot. He cannot say anything.
The astral plane is devouring your mind.
Yeah.
in Jack's mind, watching
There's
you
no
get
gravity.
You
Does-
like just
as we're flying, would tears just kind of like trickle out and stay where they are?
You are also no. So wherever you chose gravity to be, if it's that sphere, they would fly off your face towards that sphere.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So
In Jack's mind, you're losing your shit. I was on my way to the orb, and you just hit me, became huge, chased me. Now you've got me, and you're like about to cry. Jack is panicking. He's seeing his
Why-
life flash
So-
before his eyes.
Mortifer wouldn't know the answer to this, but to Jack, would Mortifer look any different, or does he look like he did that same day?
He looks haggard. He has more scars than he did before. But
Okay.
he's still
So he wouldn't probably notice right away, but
Mortifer. His clothing is exactly the same. You know what I mean? Aside from the hammer being a bit different, his clothing is exactly the same. He just looks a bit more haggard, I guess is the word I'd use.
as we get back down, I guess he wouldn't say anything until we got back down to where the orb is. Mortifer would position himself between Jack and the orb, and I think he would just manage to mutter out, "No."
Maybe like stumbling to his feet finally and taking a step forward. Like, what's wrong with you? Get out of the way.
No! And like you just see him look down and just pure anguish. And he goes, he doesn't know what to do. He just grips his hammer tight and just makes sure that you do not get around him.
Jack wouldn't know what the fuck is happening. There's just he can't get past you. I don't have any invisibility potions on me at the time. I think I'm out. Let me double check.
As you're reaching for stuff,
Yeah, it's not so much you see me reaching, it's more you recognize Jack is like very like gingerly tapping his pockets, just kind of like counting what he has on him.
Mortifer will shrink back down to normal size and just hug Jack.
Oh god, you come running at me or walking towards
Yeah.
me or what have you.
Yeah.
I
mean,
probably
there's no
for a minute, I
walking.
like
You
quickly
guys are
start pulling
floating.
things
You guys-
out.
You guys are floating at the moment.
Or you start hovering towards me, or what have you, and I'm probably start freaking out, looking for things to drink until like you eventually get your arms around me, and I just kind of like have that awkward stiff, like you're just kind of hugging.
I'm gonna
me as
need
I
so much
tense up.
alcohol for this hug. Ugh.
Yeah, and as you do
I
that
can't
and
be
hold me,
sober.
Like
as
the
you
first
kind of
time
hug me
I met
tightly,
Tyler.
I kind of squeak out from my lips.
Or the
Are
first
you
time you met Tyler.
Are you gonna kill me?
Not this time.
You
I don't
hear,
Mortifer can't do it
I was gonna
again.
say I don't want to know what that means or entails.
Zeke, you're not entirely sure what just happened. But a few moments ago, you're in the middle of fighting what legend would tell you is the last Hydra that exists in the world. You're pretty sure it's the last Hydra that exists in the world. You were positioned perfectly to drop on that thing. You would have heard that if you chop off its head, it would have more heads. And you thought it might be funny if you dropped in behind it without, Mortifer's never going to notice you, without Mortifer noticing, and cut off a few of his heads before Mortifer, jumped the thing, because that was the plan, was to ambush it. Well, Mortifer doesn't really ambush or use tactics. He was going to be there. And you thought it'd be funny to chop off a couple of its heads, because then, watching Mortifer fight the thing and like struggle a little bit would have been a little bit funny. But at the same time, you of course would have been there to defeat the creature. Make the challenge more worthwhile, considering what it is you guys usually fight. You crouched perfectly. You were just waiting for that moment to drop on it and just like sever 3 of its heads at once. Then all of a sudden, everything around you seemed to shatter for a second. You saw weird scenes from Mortifer and you, all the years that you spent together.
My game's lagging, guys. Give me a second.
All those time that you and Mortifer had spent together. I mean, you remember the first time you met Mortifer, it was inside that guy's apartment. He was giving you some weird job. It was a big guy, he was intimidating, but he had purpose. It doesn't matter, it's really strange. And then after the world around you seemed to shatter, the glass fell away around you and just seemed to be gone. And there you are standing in a milky world. Everything's milky around you. God, you haven't seen that strange color in years. Your character's not dumb. It reminds you of the armor.
Oh.
It reminds you of the armor that Einar used to wear. Einar. Obviously, you met Einar before you even met Mortifer and Jack. You had helped Einar find his way across the city. He hired you to get across the city back when you still were just trying to get by and make a buck. He'd hired you to get to that guy's apartment and then got hired by that guy that's how you met them. You remember Einar and how he died and that strange blast of, again, that white energy that hit all of you and gave you and Mortifer all that power that you had. You remember all of it, all that time and the years you and Mortifer spent together, traveling the world and overcoming things. The two of you were inseparable, best friends, even. Mortifer was an incredible companion of yours. And here you are in this milky white world with a strange giant black orb nearby. It seems ominous. You know what an obsidian sphere is. You know not to touch it. Those things are dangerous. Usually you try to pawn them off. That is a huge one. Jesus. Anyways, you know that you can pawn those off to the right people to make $1, but Mortifer wasn't a big fan of that. He'd rather destroy them. And you... Mortifer's hugging somebody? Who is... Holy shit, is that Jack?
No.
He's hugging Jack.
No, wouldn't it be Einar still? Because I came in later. Would I have to roll?
No.
Oh.
Mortifer's hugging Jack. Last time you saw Jack, he just threw in the towel.
He's saying the disguise was on for
Yeah, as I said, the
no,
disguise.
I said I swatted his knuckle and I dropped the disguise. And
oh,
became Jack.
Okay, my bad.
He's hugging Jack. And Jack is... You haven't seen Jack since the time he threw in the towel. He didn't care. He chose to work for the Sorceress Queen instead. Listen, he can't deny it. The blowjobs were really good. Not to mention that finger was a little slippery. He was pretty happy with it. He got all the materials he ever needed to make all the drugs he ever wanted. He made tons of money. He was very happy working for the Sorceress Queen. He didn't go with you and Einar and Mortifer to that battle. He wasn't there when that reaction happened. That creature came through the ritual. He wasn't there to be chased off by it.
Sounds like that was the more intelligent Jack.
He didn't touch the orb.
Yeah, fair enough.
There he is, Jack, and Mortifer's hugging him in this world of milky white with a giant orb nearby, and you're just kind of like floating because you have no idea how to control yourself here. You have never been in a place like this before. And you hear him say, as you're trying to collect your thoughts, are you going to kill me? And Mortifer responds with, I don't remember what he said.
Not this time, which worried Jack. Because he's like, what do you mean not this time?
Not this time. That's what you see, Zeke.
As he says not this time, I'd probably just yell over, Mortifer! Come help me. As I'm like flipping around and like trying to just find my balance.
Jack's eyes would. Yep.
Sorry, Mortifer and Jack, when you guys look over there, you can describe your looks in a moment. You see somebody that you've never seen before in your life. Wait. Mortifer, you swear you think maybe you saw him in one of those, you saw shards of people you didn't know. Maybe he's one of those people, because he has a little familiarity to him. Just maybe he was one of those people in one of those shards. It doesn't matter. He just called out to you like some sort of old friend. And
Jack kind of like
you have no idea
slaps
who
at
he
your
is.
naked chest, and you just hear like the bear slaps, just as I'm like getting off me, and I'm like, fucking, he knows our names. And another one here, as like slip behind you, go kill him.
As you guys are like slapping each other, my cloak, my tattered black cloak is just starting to get like kind of like around my face and around
Take your
my kind
tactical
of like
advantages now. Go,
my
go.
big-
He can't see.
my big hood that's covering my face. You hear me almost start choking. Jack, help! And just like grunt very loudly.
I don't know this Jack person you're talking about.
Assholes!
Forget me.
He activates his ability, but unfortunately,
He's a godly person.
doesn't work.
Mortifer completely ignores this strange person and just looks to Jack. Do not touch that orb.
Looking like to the orb and realizing, okay, we're not alone. The orb's here. That's the key, though. That's the power. That's where it all is.
Can I hear this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I want you to understand, you are in a vacuum. The only sound is you struggling and them talking. Nothing else.
So when he says this is the key, I'll just say, if you touch it, you'll disintegrate in seconds. We all know that.
I like leaning over. Who? And I look back to Mortifer. Who is this person? Where did they come from? Why does this person know our names? And why aren't you going to kill them right now?
Why aren't you at the Queen's Palace?
He was in the broken glass. Mortifer does not know.
What are you talking? We broken glass.
Mortifer, you were supposed to help me with the hijack.
Mortifer will just
As I start
shove the hammer
choking
and
on my
set it
cloak
down.
as it's around my neck.
Mortifer shoves the hammer in front of Jack and just leave, like as if he's supposed to know what it is.
I imagine I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. It's just like a hammer, but it's not your old hammer. Like, found a new hammer here?
Jack. Not here. Not even now.
As Mortifer's doing this, you just start hearing this. And I'm choking on my cloak.
Mortifer will even say like,
Never mind.
the
he's
imbecile's killing
He's fine.
himself. Mortifer doesn't need to help.
Yeah, Jack just smiles and nods and points. Mortifer, I know this place is weird, but we haven't moved.
No fucking kidding.
Actually, quick question. We didn't talk about this beforehand. Was there anything like, you have a ring, right? An insignia ring from the family?
Yep. From the one well, yeah, but I wouldn't have had that in the alternate timeline.
Well, there was no this timeline. I think something of yours, Mortifer would have kept. Something that was like unique, I think. So I think maybe the
Remember,
family's
you and
ring.
Mortifer met at the bottom of the arena, and you guys clicked off pretty quickly. So there definitely would have been something there. You know what I mean? And,
I don't know what I would have
Jack-
given you because I'd left.
Jack's-
You wouldn't have given
stayed
me.
very long.
It would have been
Jack's
something on your
abandoning
body.
Them. Yeah, Jack's abandoning them before would have been a probably would have bothered Mortifer even back then.
I'm just saying Mortifer would have taken something off of your body after
Oh,
you
after
died,
after you murdered me.
and he would produce it now. And it would be a duplicate of something you already had on you.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe the ring you took. That would. I mean, I was a dead person, so. And you know, I was desperately trying.
So
to
he would
get
just produce that and show it to you.
that would be very confusing. I think he'd just kind of look kind of bewildered, but the reality of the situation kind of sits back onto his shoulders before he kind of like pushes your hand away and is like, I don't know what the. There is a stranger who knows our names floating in the abyss near this great sphere of untold power.
And Mortifer had to kill you.
I'm
Nope,
gonna
still
kill
don't touch
both
that
of you
orb.
if you don't fucking help me.
Who are you?
Believe
Mortifer!
Mortifer is gravity. That's all he'll yell to that guy.
Mortify gravity, help me, you freaking jackass.
He just wants the guy to like be pulled into him.
It is.
Oh, would I be zipped over to you?
Let me look at your stats to see if you even know what that would mean. Because you're not dumb. Your stats are 14. It's not exactly like you're a genius. Believe Mortifer gravity. Your character has had a lot of experience in his life, but something like that's a little outside of his realm of expertise.
I was gonna say this is out of my.
We used to have to make rolls, didn't we? It was a wisdom roll. You had to reach a certain.
Oh, I remember.
What
I
was the
remember how it
DC?
works. 16, but you get a +4 if you fail the first time. I remember it. It's just he wouldn't necessarily think like it's not an instinctive thing, right? You have to discover it.
Chat wants a clarification from you, Scott.
I'm not reading chat. I have it turned off for the first few sessions while I'm kind of getting
I think
familiar.
they're wondering if Zeke's from a different timeline, but I feel like we'll figure that out as time goes on. I think it's pretty clear he's from an alternate parallel timeline for sure.
Yeah,
I guess, like,
I have no problem
Mortifer
playing
smashed
the
a
answer to that
bunch of
question.
things.
Yeah, Mortifer broke time.
Yep.
And so yeah, there are shards of different alternate timelines that
You did your own snap, but the snap was simply to break time.
As this is all going on,
and to be clear, I'm so sorry, Pat. To be clear, Zeke is no longer here. Sorry. Uba is no longer here. Zeke is.
Yep. So maybe even realizing that, looking around,
To a Hydra.
just like looking that there's no Uba around, seeing this person who knows our names. I guess what you'll
Uba.
see, like, just out of frustration and realizing things are not going the way that they were supposed to be going, in his mind anyway.
Wait.
He'll actually flip to make Zeke gravity, and you'll see, you will see, Jack.
I do have a question. With Jack's big old mythic power, whenever you ask me a question, am I forced to
No,
answer?
you are immune to it because you
Oh,
are
okay.
mythic.
I was
because you
gonna
are
like
mythic
what I
as
had to
well.
have told you. I guess well after Mortifer yells his thing, I'm gonna try to just escape artist out of my cloak.
You go right ahead and do your escape artist, sir.
Do I just click the skill?
Absolutely, you do.
I thought you were gonna have a natty one. Jesus
Ooh.
Christ.
Yeah. So you easily slip out of it like it wasn't a problem to begin with. You were just mostly messing with them because that's the easiest thing in the world for you.
Well, he was a little panicked. He was floating in ether nothingness and got
Well, I
distracted.
imagine I was like jumping down to like cut off the Hydra head, and as I'm dropping, I'm falling. I'm now falling profusely all the time, and
When you kind of come out of your cape, Jack will stop like halfway, realizing that now you can see and I don't have the advantage anymore. But he'll look at you and go, "What's my name?"
don't be silly, Mortifer. Why is Jack here?
When you do that, you see.
I
you
wouldn't
see
even
Jack,
like
close
even.
his- you see
I wouldn't even
his eyes
address
squint.
you.
Yeah, you see his eyes squint really hard for a minute and then open them and be like, "Okay, what's my name?"
Mortifer, what's wrong with Jack?
Who is this person? I like whip around to Mortifer. I can't make him forget. That's a
I would
problem.
look. I would look behind me.
It's important to note, Jack, as he's looking around behind him, you think about it for a moment. You know when you're better than people. You
Yep.
know when
Yeah.
you have that special spark over others.
Mhm.
You don't.
Yep.
You don't even notice a power difference between you and him.
Floating kind of back towards Mortifer slowly. I'd like get up next to your ear and like get back behind you. He's like us.
Mortifer,
just
you're
feel a
better than
gentle
this man.
palm.
You know, you're better than everybody. Just
And as you feel my small palm on the tall of your back, and I just kind of like try and push you towards this person.
I would kind of float back towards Mortifer and just be like, "What's wrong with Jack? I haven't seen him in years. How'd you find him? Why are you guys here? That's bad." I would just why haven't
What have you
destroyed
done with
it yet?
Uba?
Would I know who Uba is?
actually, no. Uba would have been from you never would have met Uba.
I would have just looked behind me. Is that the guy Jack keeps talking to? His stealth is uncanny, better than mine.
Who are you?
Again, I would look behind me. Me? Mortifer, you're funny. I would slap Mortifer on the chest. And I would go to what?
Mortifer would if you slapped him in the chest, Mortifer would punch you in the chest.
Would I go flying back if he hit me?
I mean, in theory, yeah, because you don't have the ability to control gravity, but you also could defend yourself. Like,
no, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't expect it. If I'm so close with Mortifer, I imagine I would be used to it, I guess.
Yeah, you're so used to him, you would know his movements. You would actually be able to easily dodge him, I'd say.
I would allow him to hit me. Would you be like trying to harm me?
It would be to like get you away and be prepared to fight because he would think that you were striking him because he has no idea who you are.
I guess my question is, would you like roll to attack me, or I guess? Or if you're just like,
yeah,
back.
it would be, yeah. I mean, Mortifer doesn't really think things through very well. I mean, he just swung a hammer at Jack, so yeah. He's pretty...
Go for it.
Do I just roll the Braxit fist weapon since I'm not really caring about the damage, Scott?
Correct. That's perfectly fine with me.
I want you to roll low for a specific reason.
22.
So you don't get hurt? 22 actually would not hurt you. So would not hit you, Zeke.
For all intents and purposes, can it?
Actually, hold on. Wait. Without any additional defenses up, I think a 22 is exactly your AC. Hold on, let me just check. It is because we got rid of the feet dodge, so it is exactly your AC without any defenses up.
So is that a hit?
If you hit, yes.
Yeah.
So the point is, like I said, less about damage and more just like knockback so he can grab the hammer.
I would just, as you knock me away, I guess, as I start floating away, I'll just be like, lighter than usual. And I would stop addressing you, I guess, Mortifer. I'd be like, Jack, why are you guys here? Mortifer, why haven't you destroyed this yet?
Ubo was
clear,
just
friend.
here.
Oh, no, please, go ahead, Mortifer.
Ubo was just here. This was Mortifer saw it was the right...
Is
he
he
like
stealth?
looked at Jack to make sure Jack is still here. Like, he's expecting everyone just to like disappear and change who they are now. He'll look at himself, make sure he's still Mortifer.
It's clear that however long, and he kind of like, Jack will like slowly kind of hover up above Mortifer so he gets a good look at you. And he's like, it's clear you've been stuck here for some time and your brain has been addled with. I don't know how time doesn't seem to make sense in this place. And Mortifer kind of gives you like a gentle pat on both shoulders with both hands from behind. Just hit me extraordinarily hard. And as I like look, there's like this big bruise and like maybe a broken rib. It messes with people's minds. So how about the three of us just kind of put this aside? You might know our names somehow. Somehow this place has gotten into you. And let's just...
Somehow. We were just fighting a Hydra and Mortifer and I are here now.
Your Hydra adventure has come to an end. And let's see if we can get ourselves out of here. And maybe...
As you say that, I would just get so angry. It was the last one!
If it's the last one, it'll be there when you get back.
It was going to be such a funny jest.
I look past Mortifer. Think that is our key out of here as I point to the orb. However, Mortifer refuses to allow me to touch the thing. So, friend,
you look at the orb,
to Zeke.
Hammer and gets ready to swing again.
Yeah,
I would
then
draw.
He makes a grand gesture to Zeke into the orb. If
you guys would then pay attention to the giant sword on my back, I would reach for it. I will say, you will do no such thing of touching it.
What is wrong with you two? What happened? This is like you all who I don't know. You came out of nowhere and then look into Mortifer, and your entire personality did a 180 in the matter of about 0.5 seconds.
I noticed that Mortifer looks a bit Hagrid. Hagrid, is that what you said? He's Hagrid from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Haggard.
Hey, he's so big. He's a bit haggard. You know what I mean? But not like.
So he does look different than how I saw him moments ago.
Yeah, Mortifer with you was actually kind of like he's a bit jovial. He laughed and joked and you're a bit of a prankster in a positive way. Like you're actually kind of fun. And so Mortifer, you would like laugh and joke and have fun, but he's still Mortifer. Mortifer's Mortifer, right? So he just, you would tickle his funny bone and he would chuckle and you guys had fun together. So he just looks like serious, like as if you just watched an old friend of yours die, but he's also just looks a bit worn,
Can you get us out of here? As I look to Zeke.
To be clear, it's not Zeke that can get you guys out of there. It's actually Mortifer.
Oh,
that
sure.
can.
But Jack doesn't know that.
I would look to Jack. I don't even know where here is or this.
The astral.
Abba? Uba? Is he still concealed?
Uba's-
And still holding. You can see my grasp on my sword is a little bit more like thinking that we're under attack or somebody is lurking from the shadows.
Actually, out of curiosity, is it Jack would do this because he knows his power would be able to give him that? If I did perfect mimic of Uba, I'd be able to know if he's within a mile of me at the very least, because I could read his brain. So I like kind of thinking and rolling through like Uba. Oh, actually, just a minute, and you see like kind of just instantaneously like just my complexion changes. I look, my ears get pointed, my hair gets shaggier, and I just look like what Uba looked like, which was an elf ranger. Is that what he was? A psionic warrior. He had 2 knives.
Yeah, he was what are they called?
A Zeph.
Soul blade.
Yeah, Zeph something or other is what he was.
A soul knife.
Yeah, I kind of like quickly morph and I just kind of think for a minute and I just concentrate. I imagine I don't detect him anywhere within a mile.
No. Not only do you not detect him within a mile, you're thinking for a couple of moments. You know who Uba is. You literally just saw him. You remember him.
Mm-hmm.
But something feels off when thinking about Uba. Like, Uba's
He's
maybe
eaten
not
to
here
death.
anymore.
So if you just kind of give like I get that kind of feeling like Uba's not here anymore. Mortifer, you've seen me turn into people, so that shouldn't surprise you. And then eventually like the disguise falls away and I just kind of lean in and be like, and I shake my head. Uba's. I quietly just shake my head and I just kind of push back a little bit.
I do not know who this Uba is or how to escape this realm. Mortifer, how did you arrive? You looks like I haven't seen you for years.
Mortifer found. He holds the hammer in front of him.
Would I notice
Wait.
that hammer is different than what I just saw him using?
Oh, yeah. Actually, the Mortifer that you spent all your time with didn't usually use a hammer. I think he usually used a scythe or something like that. Wade, what was it again?
Yeah, like a big scythe.
Then I would say, Mortifer, where's your scythe? Your legendary Wet'suwet'it. Why are you using a hammer?
Mortifer always prefers a hammer. But this one, Mortifer did not care what it was. It could take him back.
What do you mean? Like, would it act as like a propeller, like take you back?
Backward, before Mortifer had to kill you and the orb people.
You see Jack just slowly float back like a foot? What do you mean?
When you touched the orb, you changed, and you asked Mortifer to kill you, so Mortifer did. And then, Uba, we found some person teleported in and out. We found a life sucker, and Mortifer left. Killed many people to find this hammer. So I could go back.
So, how do we get out of here?
Mortifer knows the answer to that. The same exact way you came in. There was that rip in reality.
I thought we had to teleport in and out with the one teleporty guy. Isn't that how we got out?
Mm-mm. You went back to the same rip in reality and just climbed back through. It's when everything looks uniformly milky white, it's really hard to identify. But you can actually identify where it is now. You know, Mortifer found it before. It's a long time ago, but something like this, Mortifer's not going to forget. Not now. It's too important. He's thought about it too many times over his life.
Then I don't know, I guess I have to imagine that's gravity and float over there.
I mean, there's not a particular object, so you more or less have to imagine something on the far side over here is gravity. You also remember, it's probably not too long, honestly, what is time? It's probably not too long until those creatures come at you like what did before. You know, the funky looking ones with like the power that they had and the incredible combat skills that they had. I'm sure
Not that incredible.
Well, fair enough. You fought like I think 3 of them and caught them off guard a little bit, but you knew reinforcements were on their way. You saw the ship.
They wish that they'd gotten there.
Yeah. Anyways, so I don't mean to be rude with my sunglasses on, by the way. It's just really bright in here. So yeah, you know where it is. You kind of choose over there to have very loose gravity. So you start slowly going that way. And usually you have to roll for this sort of thing, but for the sake of this narration here, because it's not critical in these moments, you can just choose. And you slowly start going towards the direction where you think it is. It takes a little bit of time for you to search around. You have Zeke and Jack watching him search around. Both of you. This is your best friend. You've gone through many adventures with them.
I imagine if like Mortifer's off looking and Zeke and kind of Jack are kind of either next to each other or side by side, Jack starts peppering Zeke with just like random questions about Mortifer to see if it's actually Mortifer that you know. Like, what's Mortifer's favorite food? You know, like little shit like that, just like random stuff.
Corn chips out of the ball of a skull.
I imagine a lot of it is like,
what pillow does he like to sleep with? We would both just be testing each other.
we go back and forth. I just imagine like most of it matches up, but there's like
Mortifer count to?
yeah, but I imagine like a detail here and there that's just like, no, that's not correct. Like the scythe being kind of like a minor like deviation.
What's his favorite joke? What do you mean joke?
He doesn't laugh. He just kills people. He laughs only when he kills, actually.
Oh, that's sad.
He laughs and kills where I'm from.
What's so strange? It's not the Mortifer I know. How long does it take for Mortifer to find the exit?
Probably a while, because he'll look back about every 3 seconds to make sure you're not within like a mile of that big sphere.
I would probably be watching Jack to make sure that he's not like.
Listen, you both threatened to murder me. I'm not moving.
He's like, I got nothing.
I've got no way to fight back. The only reason I was allowed to last time is because we didn't know. And I thought it was a great idea.
Oh, did you guys want me to give you a description of how my character looks?
That would be good.
Oh, I did. I just wasn't pinging it yet. But
No, you're good. I didn't know when would be a good spot. Like now that Mortifer's looking around, I guess Jack can give me a full look over.
Yeah. We're gonna have you guys describe all of your characters, and this
Okay,
is
no
gonna
worries.
be you're fine. And this is gonna be kind of how we're shoring up this first hour. So
2 hours.
2 hours. Sorry, this 2 hour only break. So why don't we actually do that? Jack, describe your character. Even though they already saw the image, describe your character.
Yeah, he's a young kid, maybe in his early 20s at the latest. I forget what actual age he is now at this point. He is 22 at this point. He's got very dark skin just from being out in like a constantly dark tanned from being out in the sun all the time, but he's got pitch white hair, blue eyes, and he dresses fancy in terms of dark sun. Meaning he's not wearing just like clothes that suits walking around. He actually dresses a little nice. He's got a nice cloak, some nice garb. The glasses in particular are kind of a rare thing, meaning like he's well read, at least in some regard. And he has a couple books by his side with like a dagger as a defense mechanism, like a defensive tool. And that's pretty much all that he carries on him. He's pretty. Other than that, though, like you see vials. You see some vials on his belt. Not many, because most of them I have in pockets and stuff. Yes, cool. That's me.
Thank you. Do me a favor, Patrick. Describe yours, and if somebody can be really nice and clip his description and send it over inside Discord, that'd be great, because it would help us when we get a hold of F Snow for the sake of consistency in the art design.
Zeke is in his late 20s. I pictured him around 26, 28 years old. Can't really see his hair. He wears a small brimmed hat underneath a giant hood. Hood is extremely tattered, very worn, black cloak. He wears not very nice clothes at all, kind of a tank top-esque looking black shirt with some kind of cargo-esque, very baggy pants, with kind of almost ninjutsu kind of socks that go into just boots. So the socks kind of go up past his knee a little bit, kind of very baggy socks. His eyes are extremely green, very bright green. You could see them underneath his hood, and his hood kind of conceals his face a lot. Skin is very dark toned, very tan from the sun, but you also see kind of paint streaks, kind of just straight lines that go down his face, just black paint. go down his face, and has a bit of a beard.
A bit of a beard.
Bit of a beard.
Not a lot.
Kind of like all the gentlemen in the call. A bit of a beard. Not so
mean-
much up on the cheeks, but just straight kind of like down. Kind of has it braided almost.
I don't know if I would say I have a bit of a beard. I would say my shit is on fleek.
Like on the edge of your chin, it just kind of like goes down a bit.
Modern internet terms, right up there with woot.
Woot.
you use.
Yeet.
All the time.
On by the way, on his back, he has kind of concealed within his cloak is a little bit of a slit that a giant edge of his katana kind of fits out of. It kind of gets concealed into his cloak. You can always see the handle sticking out, the hilt sticking out of the back of his katana, which is not how you typically wear a katana. You sometimes will see him wearing it on his side as well, kind of like typical katana. But he usually just stations it on his back.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. And
So, Scott, I pinged you in chat to tell you I pinged you on your phone to tell you I pinged you on Zoom.
oh, I don't have any of my pings turned on. Wade, would you like to tell us how? Where's my? Hold on.
It just depends on the answer to my Zoom message.
Oh, is this pinged in Zoom? Okay. Oh, I
you
can't.
gotta, you gotta follow the treasure hunt.
I can't open Zoom because it shows on stream. So what's it say in Discord? Copy and paste for me.
There you go. Text
And if you want to line up into stream, you can go right ahead and take a glance at the stream.
Perfect.
Great job. I'm proud of
Thank you.
There you go.
All right. So Mortifer's in his mid-20s, mid to upper 20s, around 26 years old or so, 27, somewhere in that range. He's an 11-foot, 7-inch tall half giant. When he grabbed Jack and he was gargantuan size, he was closer to 44 feet tall. So his height varies a little bit in that range of 11 to 12 feet to 45-ish feet. Big, strong, has a beard, head of hair that is a little bit more grown out than it is in this image. That was kind of the description of him whenever he was in the gladiator arena and they forced him to be a little bit more clean cut. What? No.
Keep going.
That's exactly how I look if I were to take the shirt off right now. These muscles just bulge. But
Molly has to keep buying Wade stretchy shirts.
he carries a few pouches on his hip because Jack and other companions in the past have been like, Mortifer, carry this. And he just puts whatever it is on him because he can carry pretty much anything. And he pretty much always has his hammer and his axe strapped to his back, or his hammer at least in hand.
Nice.
And these days, he's looking even less kempt than usual. A little bit more beat up. A few more holes in the cloths of the armor. Maybe a few more peeks at things that everyone wants to see.
Oh, hey. I'll take some of those. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Yep, I knew it was coming, dude. I hate it.
Hi.
On break now.
Blowjob cam.
Hi,
Yeah. All right,
Mortifer.
everybody. We'll be back in a few minutes to continue this wonderful story.
Oh, I can't wait till we start the break.
Okay, bye.
Take us out.
Oh, I'm gonna take it out. The button didn't work. That one.
But didn't work.